Am I the a-hole for refusing to help my aunt? Plus update. I am 40 female single mother raising my 2 children. My ex-husband cheated on me and was very abusive mentally and physically. He left me for a young woman when I was 26. I by myself worked hard and came up to the position where I am now. I am currently earning 6 figures and doing well. So the background story is, my family didn't support me during my divorce, though they were well off, and I had to move states to find employment and affordable housing. Most of my relatives blamed me for ruining the family's reputation, specifically my mother's sister, the aunt I'm referring to. She spread rumors about me and insulted me on many occasions, and kept talking to my ex and feeding him all my information. I had to go through court battles for custody for my children by myself, while this aunt supported my ex spreading rumors and helping him gain custody for 2 years. Finally, I managed to get the custody of my children and we are happy. Recently, my aunt has been calling me and requesting financial support and asking me to help her children get jobs. I told her to go and ask my ex who she supported. I don't know if I am the a-hole here, but my mother thinks it was unnecessary, and I should have supported it. So Reddit, tell me, am I the a-hole? You've worked hard to rebuild your life after all that drama. It's tough to forget how your aunt treated you during your worst times. You're not obligated to help her now, especially after she supported your ex. Your aunt has some brass yarbles. If she approaches you again, start laughing uncontrollably, catch your breath, and say no. Then ghost her. No explanations. Either she knows why, or she's freaking oblivious. In either case, you have no obligations. You're not the a-hole. They let you all down. She can go get financial help from your ex or anyone else that didn't support you. You stand your ground and support you and your children. Close that door and move on to a happier life. Not the a-hole. After what your aunt did, I'd say she can go to hell and figure things out on her own. It's amazing that she has to come back after all this time and ask you for anything, considering what she did. However, I guess that she must really be desperate and in that much of a need of help. She really shouldn't have done that to you though, because if I were you, I would either say, "New number, who's this? Sorry, don't know you, and I'm not going to help a stranger. Not with this economy. Bye now," and block. Or just block her. This particular aunt doesn't sound like she needs to be desperate to ask for help from someone she treated horribly. OP did well for herself, and now Auntie sees dollar signs. Help her children get jobs? Hell no. She raised them. They're probably lazy and motivated losers. They can get their own jobs. She needs money? Sounds like Auntie should get a job. I'm sure she thinks, maybe said, that what happened between them was years ago. Bygones at all. She's despicable. Edit/mini update. After reading your responses, I realized I wasn't wrong to refuse to help, but I'm going to stay firm in my decision. When I posted here, I was having doubts. In my culture, we are expected to respect the elders even if they are total a-holes. And because my mother was trying to guilt trip me. She always does this to get her way. And right now, I don't want that toxicity in my life. Thanks to you guys, I decided I'm going to cut contact with my aunt and her family. And I'm going low contact with my parents for a while. I'm meeting my mother for lunch tomorrow and letting her know my decision. And we will gradually start to address the issues in our relationship and try to mend it. There is probably going to be waterworks, name-calling, and telling me how much of an ungrateful child I am. But I'm gonna stay firm in my decision. I will update you guys if anything interesting happens. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to support my brother's kids after he passed away, even though I am financially able to? I, 38 male, have always had a complicated relationship with my younger brother Jake, 34 male. Growing up, we were never close. Jake was the golden child in the family, and I was always expected to support him, help him out, and be there for him, even when he made terrible decisions. He was always the reckless one, dropping out of college, getting into trouble, and having kids he couldn't really afford with multiple women. 5 months ago, Jake tragically passed away in a car accident, leaving behind 3 kids with 2 different women. It was devastating for the family, but I can't say Jake's life choices didn't contribute to some of his struggles. He had no life insurance, no savings, and left his kids in pretty bad shape financially. My parents, who are both retired and living on a fixed income, asked me to step up and help support Jake's kids. I'm financially stable, well off even. I run my own business and my wife and I don't have kids of our own, so we live pretty comfortably. My parents think it's my responsibility to take over Jake now that he's gone. They've been pressuring me to set up college funds for his kids, help with their living expenses, and even contribute to their mother's bills, as both women are struggling to make ends meet. Here's the thing, I don't want to. It sounds harsh, but I feel like I'm being asked to pay for Jake's mistakes. I don't have a relationship with these kids, and I barely had one with Jake. I've spent my whole life cleaning up his messes, and now that he's gone, I feel like I'm financially free of that obligation. I didn't ask him to have multiple kids with no plan for their future. My wife agrees with me and she feels like we shouldn't have to sacrifice our financial freedom because of my brother's poor decisions. But now my family is furious with me. They're calling me heartless, saying I'm abandoning my own blood, and that Jake's kids will end up in poverty without my help. Some of my friends think I'm being too cold and should at least help a little, even if I don't go all in. I get that these kids didn't ask to be born into this situation, but I also don't think it's my responsibility to fix everything, just because I'm the one with money. My wife and I worked hard to get where we are, and I feel like we shouldn't be expected to give that up for decisions we didn't make. So am I the a-hole for refusing to financially support my late brother's kids, even though I can afford it? Those kids have a mother and are eligible for supplementary security income to compensate financially for their deceased father. It is up to their moms to manage their finances. The kids will only be eligible for SSI if their father actually worked and paid into Social Security. Doesn't make them OP's responsibility, but that is not how it works. Given Jake's age at death, we would add in that he had to work 40 quarters, 10 years, in jobs that paid into Social Security. If he were in his mid-20s, the amount of required work time would be less for your surviving minor children to receive monthly payments. Consider it child support that is always paid on time and in full. His total benefit will be split evenly between all 3 children. But the mothers need to apply. Benefits date from the date of the phone call to set up the appointment. Not the a-hole. Your parents can do it if they want to, but it is not your responsibility. They enabled your brother for years, so now they can pay the price for their poor choices in life. I agree, those kids' situation is difficult as it is, however, they still have their mothers to support them. You have no responsibility to fix everyone's problem. Your parents should not force you to do anything that you don't want, and they should respect that OP. People who thinks that it's your responsibility to help them should start chipping in with themselves and give the money to those kids, not the a-hole. I told my mother I plan to be cremated. She asked me to sign over my military burial plot so my brother wouldn't end up in an unmarked grave. This after we had already agreed he would eventually lose the house she leaves him free and clear because he will fail to pay the taxes. Sucks being the good kid, making the good decisions, then being hated for it. I'm putting $10,000 in an investment for my nephew. Nobody will know until he's a junior in high school. Him and I will have a conversation in his future. If he's got a good head on his shoulders, I will help him. If not, it will be passed to my grandkids. But I'm not just giving anyone anything. It will be on my terms. I'm sure not paying child support to some baby mother. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad he made a dumb decision and I don't need to fix it for him? My mom died when I, 16 male, was 5. I remember her, just not amazingly well. When I was 7, my dad started dating again and met Mara. At first, I was upset about Mara and my dad dating. I didn't want to meet her and gave her a hard time. She gave me space to let out all my feelings at her, and then she reassured me she was not here to take mom's place. She told me she really liked my dad and wanted to really like me too. But she didn't have to be my mom for us to like each other. At first, I wasn't sure if I believed her. But she won me over and we got along really well. She even lived with us for a year. But when I was 10, Dad broke up with Mara and said she wasn't trying hard enough to fill the role of mom for me and I needed a mom. I told him I didn't want another mom and I loved Mara, that she was the best. Mara was blindsided by it because things had been so good, and I don't think my dad had said it would be a deal breaker. Within a few months, he met his wife Stacy. Stacy was a single mom with a 2-year-old daughter. I was 11 then. Stacy was very on board to be my new mom, and I was not. I said it so many times I didn't want a new mom, and I wouldn't call someone else mom. I missed Mara and wouldn't give Stacy a chance if she tried to take over mom's place. I was ignored, and Dad and Stacy got married when I was 12. After my 16th birthday, which was June, my dad kinda realized I was serious about not wanting a mom and not giving Stacy a chance to be my mom. She has tried so hard too. She has tried to make me love her and her daughter. But I'm not here to get a new mom. I'm not open to it, something Dad now knows. It's caused a lot of strain within him and Stacy because Stacy found out I had DM'd Mara recently and apologized for Dad and thanked her for being awesome and saying I miss her. Stacy said she can't even get me to say I like her. I told her it's because I don't. That I don't like people who don't listen or who think they can make me do things like let them be my new mom. Stacy said she was expecting/promised a family for her daughter. Not this. Dad pulled me aside a few nights ago and told me he now realizes I was serious about the things I said, and he realizes I loved Mara, but that he really wanted the best for me, and someone who wouldn't even try to be my mom wasn't it. He told me Stacy would be such a good second mom to me, and I could have a sister if I give this a chance. He said his marriage could end if we can't pull together as a family. I told him he made a dumb decision and I wouldn't fix it for him. I said it was fine if Mara just wasn't the one for him or if their relationship changed. But I loved her because she wasn't my mom. She was someone I could trust and love as Mara. And that my dislike of Stacy wasn't changing, and neither was my unwillingness to get a new mom. Dad told me I don't get to speak to him like that I was out of line. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not a-hole. You have consistently told your dad over the years that you did not want a new mother. And he has consistently, including now, ignored what you had to say. He's the one who screwed up, not you. Sounds like he made promises to Stacy that he expected you to keep for him. That's all on him. And you're right, it's not up to you to fix it. That's exactly how it sounds to me too. He didn't believe me, so he promised her this traditional family with the 4 of us, where she'd get to be a mom to me and I'd be a son to her and a brother to her daughter. At no point did he consider even for a second that I wasn't lying about not wanting a new mom. Took him this long to figure it out. What's worse is he chased away Mara, who actually loved you both, and was probably the only person who ever actually listened to you and heard what you said. She could have really helped you and your dad be closer, if your dad had just stopped with the self-sabotage. Not a holopi. And she did while they were together. She was the person who encouraged him to talk more about mom and tell me stories, show me photos. He didn't do that naturally, but he opened way up with her encouragement and I learned so much. Last story. Am I the a-hole for playing favorites with my grandkids and when confronted by my daughter-in-law, telling her that it's due to her? This post is about my son and Amy, my daughter-in-law. They have been married for about 10 years and have 2 kids. They're 10 and 6. At the beginning, I really tried to get along with her, but she made it difficult. She's not very sociable and always put her own mom overseeing her husband's side of the family. This is really apparent with holidays and the kids. She always chooses to go to her mom's for holiday, even if I do it on an early day or late day. If I offer to babysit, she always tells me to ask her mom, or she would get back to me. The time I do babysit or get to hang out with the grandkids, she is criticizing everything I do, usually saying that not how her mom or how she does it. At the beginning, my son was trying to fix this, but gave up. We see him separately from his wife and kids. I truly don't understand it, and I have asked if I did anything wrong, but no answer on that. I give up trying when my other son had kids. It is so much better, and I have a great relationship with my other daughter-in-law and the kids. The kids are 9, Ava my step-granddaughter, and 4, grandson. So I gave my Ava a family necklace that was my mother's. She loves it, and has been wearing it everywhere according to my son. That also includes school, which started this issue. My daughter-in-law called up and asked why Ava got a family necklace, but her daughter at 10 didn't get one. I told her I just wanted to give it to Ava. She got angry and told me I was playing favorite and that her daughter is older, so she should have gotten the necklace. I told her that yes, I am playing favorites and it is due to her. I pointed out that I do not know her daughter because of her, that her kids will not be getting any of my family stuff because of her. This was a huge argument, and she called me a jerk and wanted me to give her kid a necklace. I am doubting myself on this. Not the a-hole. What does she want you to do? Sue for grandparents' visitation rights? Oh wait, she wants to keep her kids away from you, but have you give them stuff. Yeah, pass. And maybe talk to your son and say that you find it hurtful when his wife keeps the grants from you, but also demands gifts. For the daughter-in-law, I just ignore the greedy bits and respond to each gift grab with something like, well, it certainly would be nice to see the kids more. Do let me know when they're free to visit. Just so we're on the same page, it sounds like you're okay with the kids not having a relationship with me, but you still want me to give them things. Is that what you're saying? That my purpose in their lives is just about material goods? Not the a-hole. Exactly. Daughter-in-law was perfectly happy never seeing grandma until she found out it was costing her kids stuff. And her response, of course, isn't thinking, maybe I should bring my kids over more so they can bond and let the treatment equalize as a result of that bonding. Nope. Instead, she says, stop showing favoritism and give my kids stuff, with no mention of changing her treatment of grandma. Not the a-hole. It's difficult, but the conversation needs to be steered toward the amount of quality time you're able to spend with your grandkids. She's putting the focus on the gifts that were given, when that's the least important part of the relationship. I wouldn't discuss with Amy about why her daughter isn't getting a necklace. She'll try to poke holes in the argument, come up with counter-arguments, and spend way too much time on that point. The conversations should focus on why you're not able to see your grandkids for the holidays, why you can't babysit them, why you can't spend more time with them. Hopefully, the necklace is causing your granddaughter to pressure Amy about seeing you more, even if it's for slightly jealous reasons. And now is a great time for your son to start trying to fix this again. Amy seems to have a renewed interest,